If only this film was made 10 years ago. Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back. Jamie here today. I'm going to talk about Free From Hell, which was released in 2019, 14 years after The Devil's Rejects, written and directed once again by Rob Zombie. And I'm going to say straight up, this film should have been released at least 10 years earlier. And the whole aspect of it, it's called Free From Hell. I was expecting them to literally come back from hell after the end of The Devil's Rejects, but no, it's literally they just survived the events of that. The title teases them coming back from hell, and I thought that's what we get, a supernatural element with Dr. Satan back. But what we got instead was a rehash of Devil's Rejects. Like I said, this should have been made 10 years earlier. I know he was busy with the Halloween remake and then the sequel after that, but way too much time passed between the sequels, and unfortunately Sid Haig died and he was replaced. And the whole film, it just, like I said, it's a rehash of Devil's Rejects. But yeah, we're going to get into my thoughts right now. It starts at the end of Devil's Rejects with them inside the car in slow motion, and then we hear all the shots, we get the title card, and then there's news reports of all of them surviving. And it's like they had a 1 in a million chance and they survived, and yet they do. And it's like they've got 20 bullet holes each and they're all just alive. No mention of supernatural elements or anything. So even years ago, like throughout the years between Devil's Rejects and this, Sid Haig and Bill Moseley did conventions together. And whenever someone would ask them, like, you ever going to do another Devil's Rejects? They'd both look at each other and be like, nah, we can't because we're both dead. So literally Rob Zombie just throws all out the window. It's like, oh yeah, they survived 20 bullet holes each. It's like, what? You could have at least done a supernatural element with Dr. Satan. They have interviews with like fans of them and are outside. It's like free to free, and they're doing this whole media thing. It's 10 years later. There's a 10-year jump. They've been inside prison. We get one Spalding scene getting interviewed, and you can tell Sid Haig wasn't really healthy at this point. It's sad to see. And like I said, I wish they made this years ago, because then we would have got him in full-blown Captain Spalding. But instead, we get one scene, and then he's killed off screen with lethal injection. You know, it kind of drags a little bit, this, to be honest. So then we get a breakout scene with Otis, and he remembers Danny Trejo's character who ratted him out in the last film. So he kills him, gets his revenge, and then he's broken out by his half-brother, the Midnight Wolfman, played by Richard Brake. And Richard Brake does a good job inside this. He fits right in. Obviously, it's a hard role to fill. He's not replacing Captain Spaulding. He's not like the same character. He's someone new, but you know, he is filling that role in a way, and he does a good job. It's just this film, it just feels like a repeat of Devil's Rejects. It's just the greatest hits, really. They're planning on breaking Baby out of prison, and then we get this cringy slow motion sequence of Baby walking in with music playing. And this has to be a joke, right? Because it's literally Rob Zombie's criticism. It's like he just cast his wife. And in this bit here, it's like, oh, look how beautiful my wife is. Look how beautiful my wife is. It comes across like a joke. I don't know if he meant it to be this way or what, but this is so bad. And I'm a fan of Baby in the other films, but in this one, I don't know, man. I feel like they went overboard. They really did. She has a parole hearing, and you know, she's just acting crazy throughout it, and it's just whatever, man. Like I said, I like Baby inside the other films. This one's just too much for me. It really is. Wolf gets ambushed by a couple inside the woods with guns, and then Otis comes along, shoots one of them inside the face, and then guess what he does to the other one? Cuts the face off, of course, because, you know, like I said, it's literally just the greatest hits of Devil's Rejects. That's all we're doing here, pretty much. And then somehow Baby kills 2 inmates while she's chained up. You know, they've got the advantage on her, and yet she kills them both. I don't know how she managed that. Again, if it was supernatural, it would make more sense, but at this point, it's not. They just survived. No mention of anything. They got superhuman strength apparently because she was chained up, but yeah, whatever. So Otis and Wolf blackmailed the warden with his wife and other people to break Baby out and bring her back to the house. A guy arrives dressed as a clown, and Otis is like, you gotta make us laugh or you're gonna die. And he pisses himself and he laughs, but he shoots him anyways, like, I hate clowns. Again, it's just a repeat of Devil's Rejects. I'm gonna keep saying it because it literally is. Nearly everything that happens inside this film we've already seen. I do like this quote by Otis though. It's like, don't tell me the impossible, motherfucker. I am the impossible. That was a cool quote. Not as good as Devil's Rejects quotes, but it was an alright quote. And then they're all just sat inside the house waiting, just like the motel and Devil's Rejects. Again, like I said, it's repeats there. It really is. Baby gets reunited with him, and then they start killing. So one of them runs outside naked. Baby follows her and just starts brutally stabbing her inside the broad daylight. And there's a granny across the road. She sees it and she just waves off. That scene is kind of brutal, but again, I'm going to stop saying it. You know what I'm going to say. It's a repeat of Devil's Rejects because it really is. So they decide to go to Mexico, and where they're staying, again, repeat. It's just like Charlie's Bar and Devil's Rejects. And the owner contacts the son of Danny Trejo's character, and he wants revenge, just like Devil's Rejects. This one scene I do like. Otis and Baby reminisce about Captain Spaulding. And this, it is a little somber moment. I do like that. And then we get a call back to House of Thousand Corpses. She's like, we're going to get fucked up and do fucked up shit. They party all night and Baby makes friends with one of the residents. He reminds her of her brother Tyner. The son of Danny Trejo arrives with luchador masks and all these men in suits and guns, and they're looking for the Free From Hell, I guess we're going to call them now, aren't we? Eventually Otis and one of them like have a machete fight, and then they end up winning and they burn the son of Danny Trejo's alive inside the coffin, and then that's it. And again, this film, they don't even have an epic ending like Devil's Rejects or anything. This film, I don't think I'm going to watch it again. I was really disappointed. 4 out of 10, Free From Hell. That's what I'm giving it. Very boring. It's just a repeat of Devil's Rejects greatest hits. Wolf ain't a bad character. I don't mind him. But it could have been so much more of this story, man. They should have made it years ago. It should be supernatural, make it something different. Then each film would stand on its own. Because House of Thousand Corpses is like an acid trip. Devil's Rejects is, its own thing. And then this, it's just Devil's Rejects 2.0. So really, I think Rob should have done something with it. Maybe he just felt pressured to make the film because people were asking for it for years. I hope there's no more after this. Just keep it a trilogy. 2 of the films are good, the last one's just meh. If there was no Devil's Rejects, I'd probably like this more, but the fact that Devil's Rejects exists, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. If I was ranking the 3 of them, it would go Devil's Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses, and then Free From Hell. Let me know your ranking inside the comments down below. Until next time, peace out in a bit.